Welcome to another episode of Real Talk about real estate, real stuff, and real tours. Not real tours, real tours.
Real tours.
So today our topic is how realtors really get their business. All right, here's the first thing. And this just really, I know I do it, but it really grinds my gears. I mean, pisses me off that we have to act like some social media TV star now to try to get business. I mean, I get it. We're all tied up in social media, but why do we now? Why have we gone away from negotiations, which we still do this too, but what we really do, we don't do stupid TikToks and dances and be funny. What we do is negotiate contracts. Make sure that you're staying out of trouble in the courtroom. Make sure that you have your house ready for its highest and best price. Make sure that we're marketing it. And now I feel like it's totally flipped. I mean, we're still doing all those things, but to get to that point, we have to act like a bunch of idiots on social media, and it just like sends me to the roof, I swear.
And it's a bummer for the people who don't want to do social media because it's like you do miss a whole market that way. But it's like, okay, someone who's, I can name a bunch off the top of my head in our area that are great realtors who are not on social media. And it's like, they shouldn't have to do that to get a client necessarily. And not that you have to, but you know what I mean.
It's like in this day and age, we have to be like, we need a pimp to pimp us out or something. Like even
it's called Instagram.
Insta pimp.
Beep.
It's true. With all of the, I just had a thought in my head too about other marketing stuff that we do that just seems, it'll come to me, but I don't know. I know we have to do it, and we certainly do those things. Oh, reviews. Good Lord. If we aren't the one, like I made this point the other day, there's somebody that is a top team in this market that maybe has 50 reviews or 60 reviews, and another team that has like 200 reviews. Are you as a consumer going to decide, I'm going with the one that did 200 reviews versus the one that did 50 reviews? Quite frankly, the one that did 50 is selling more than any other team in this town. So it just like, it's all like, it's just gotten competitive and weird.
It's online has changed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all of it.
Back before social media, what did you do?
The newspaper. And open houses.
Hey, at least social media is free.
Yeah. Well, not kind of.
Well, kind of. Yeah.
It's not really free, but I guess that in a form is also kind of the same thing. Like you had to have your face there going. It's okay. It's the way that younger people, younger than me, look at advertising our business. It's through social media.
Right.
And it works because I always buy stuff on social media.
Yeah, you
all
do.
The time. I'm like
TikTok ad queen.
They get you at 11 o'clock at night every time.
A couple glasses of wine. You're like, that looks. See, that's the modern day version, Brandy, of my grandmother would drink brandy. No, you're the modern day version of my grandmother would drink brandy and watch QVC, and then all the grandkids would end up with gifts from QVC. She doesn't even remember ordering.
Well, I just
at least
buy them
you
for
remember
myself.
ordering
So.
yours. I know. She'd be like, "Oh, this is cute. Kelsey might like this," and gift it to me for Christmas. I'm like, "Oh."
I mean, it does work. Social media does work, but I do think that what I am fearing is that sometimes social media can take away from our real job, which, like I mentioned before, is negotiating contracts, getting your home ready to sell so you can get the highest and best price, making sure that you're staying out of the courtroom, all those things. That's important.
It's just become so competitive, like amongst agents, to get a client that, I'm sorry, I keep bumping the mic. It's become so competitive with other agents to get to the client that social media has the widest reach possible. But then, okay, you got to reach people, but for them to actually watch your videos, you have to be ABC, entertaining, value driven, like all these things. But that's not enough. You also need to make relationships because they need to know that they can talk to you. But that's not enough. you got to get their email. That's not enough. You need to be able to have a conversation in the DMs. It's like one thing after the other. And it used to just be you would meet your agent through someone else. You would meet them at an open house. It was a little bit more organic. And now we're taking this inorganic thing called social media that's all through a screen and trying to make it organic.
But if you look at our statistics, most of our business is through relationship. Yes, we do get some through Zillow, online leads that way. Online leads are huge as well. But I think what social media does, it's the same thing as what our billboards do. No one's going to look at the billboard and go, I'm going to call them today and sell my house or buy a house. It's the affirmation of that I've seen them, or clarification. What's the word I mean? The something. Huh? Brand awareness, right? It's like, oh yeah, I saw her on TikTok, or I saw her on Insta, and I also see them billboard, and then I saw a sign out in front of a house, and then I think you cannot really track the billboard, and I think it is also difficult to track the social media. I know you do, because you do get a lot of business that way, but I think for most of us, a team as a whole, and what we do, I don't know that we could track it. It's just more like
branding as a company,
right? Making sure that they see us everywhere.
So for those who have no idea how realtor business works, or real estate in general, we don't get like a house to sell. I had someone ask me once, so your boss just gives you a house to sell? And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. So we have to if you're buying or selling, you get to choose who your realtor is. So our goal is to meet as many people and have those relationships with people who then want to hire us to buy or sell, help them buy or sell. So Brandy and I have been talking recently about how we're getting to those people, and the business that came out of 2023, we found that half those sales were about half were based on relationships, which is like someone we've bought and sold with before, someone they referred us to, like a friend or family, someone that we already knew, a sphere of influence, as we call it, a neighbor, whatever. Or the non-relationship side, which would be meeting someone through social media, meeting someone at an open house, an online lead, things like that, where the business is generated rather than referred or based off a relationship.
Right.
So those are kind of the ways that realtors actually do get their business. And I would say it's about, at the end of the day, the relationship and the trust that they have in you.
I think as a real estate agent goes in through their career, they will start to see more and more business, obviously, from relationships, because there are clients that refer them, but when you first start out, the majority of your clients are online. Online leads and people that you meet at open houses. But I would love to ask a question of anyone that might be out there listening to us. Hello, is anyone there?
Like, all six of you.
What would you choose to? Who would you choose to work with? Would you choose someone that you follow on social media and you think they're funny and you think that they also have good information and you trust them because maybe you don't know them personally, but you trust them because you've watched them on social media? It's even like sometimes like when a movie star dies and you're like, oh no, like it was your grandma or something. You never met that person, but you felt like you knew them because you saw them on TV. So you trusted that person, right? Or your friend, your parents, your sister, whatever, your family member tells you, oh, I used Kelsey and she was amazing and you should use Kelsey. Like, which way, audience, would you go? Do you think that you'd use somebody that you met on social media or somebody who one of your friends or family members have used? Comment. Can we do that on a podcast? Can we say comment?
Yeah. Well, at least on YouTube or on social media. Okay. On Instagram. Right. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, knowing what I know, like how, I don't mean this to sound any type of way at all, and I'm really proud of all agents who are doing social media, but social media is really easy to fake. And so, yes, you can put your sales on there as well, but that's not even necessarily indicative of if you're a good or bad agent. And also it varies from person to person. Like what I find I would want in an agent may be different than what the next person wants in their agent. But I would say I wouldn't choose based on social media personally, which is, I shouldn't even say that because of my social media, but you know, and I'm not faking it on social media at this point. But when I was year one in the business, it's like, well, what do I know about that I can talk about on here, you know? Right. So it is, I would definitely go based on referral if I could, or I would talk to a few agents and kind of see who I vibe with. Because for me, it would be like, who am I comfortable with? Who's going to pick up their phone? Who's not going to laugh at me when I ask stupid questions? You know, things like that.
Right. No, I think that's true. The other thing too is maybe your family member or friend refers you to an agent, and then you go to social and check them out.
Yeah.
And see if you can make a relationship. So that is another reason why it's like a backup. It's like your biography almost, right? Or what?
Yeah, or reviews, like reading reviews kind of thing. Like you could read their reviews, read their autobiography, look at their social media. But I also think like, okay, if they have a really bad social media or no social media presence, or they're really awkward on camera, that can't be a reason you don't go with them either.
True.
So you have to just be
I would say though that if earlier I gave the 50 reviews versus 200 reviews, if somebody had 0 or less than 10 reviews, I would probably go with the person that had 50 or 200 or 150 reviews. Just
well, like when you're buying a product, you want to look at a few reviews,
You
or an
do.
Airbnb, you're like looking at the reviews.
Exactly. So I do think that's important to have reviews. I just don't know that 50 loses over 150. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and we have a lot of reviews. We do.
Yeah.
And so, but I still think that you got to go back to like what you just said. Can I build a relationship with this person?
Yep.
One other thing I wanted to say, which is kind of backtracking a little bit on doing videos on houses, is that we used to walk around and go, oh, look at this beautiful this and this beautiful kitchen. And now, like the one that we did where I was walking in the swimming pool, or you dressed up as Santa Claus, my concern there is, what does the seller of that home, the property owner, think of me walking into his swimming pool? Is that really selling his house? Like that would be like, that's not an amenity to be funny, but what it does is it captures the attention of the person that's scrolling and go, what is she doing? What is she dressed up as? Why is she walking in the pool? Whatever. And then that brings attraction to the house. So sometimes I just have to like let go of and even look at all the Super Bowl commercials that happen. I mean, some of them don't even, like that homes.com. What?
What are you selling?
Yeah, he had like that big cork champagne thing go flying out through this office building. It's like, wait, this is they should be like competing against Zillow and mentioning Zillow, because then people would understand exactly what.
That's true. They could have capitalized on Zillow.
I don't know like what the laws and stuff are on that, but that's what I would have done, because I was sitting in a group of people going, what in the hell are they? What did they do, Brandy? It says homes. Well, they obviously need to ask me. Yeah. So, but anyways, it just. No, interesting stuff. So what's the question again?
How realtors get really their business. I mean, that's basically what we wanted to kind of touch on, and just
we get business mostly from referrals from clients that we've worked with, and family members and friends.
Yep.
And other agents that we've worked with.
Yep.
That's the majority of where realtors get their business, unless they're brand new, and then it's typically a Zillow.
Yeah, and if you're a realtor and you're listening to this and you're thinking of getting into the business, just know that it's not handed to you. Nope. The clients are not handed to you. You have to go out and you have to hustle and you have to find that business yourself, and you have to make people trust you. So it's all part of it.
Okay.
Thanks. Beat that dead horse.
Thank you for letting me rant a little. Thank you for letting me grind my gears.
Yes. Thanks for your input, Bran.
All right. Peace
Bye.
out.